This is not political unless you make it political. This weather is not political. It's weather. It's not political unless you make it political. Ron Desantis is refusing to take calls from the White House and Kamala Harris because he says they're politically motivated. We are in the middle of a fucking disaster. It's gonna come hit us. And he won't take calls from the White House. So, Floridians, when you think you aren't getting the disaster relief that you need in a few days, I just want you to remember who did it and who tried to call, and that it shouldn't be political. He says he's working with FEMA. Remember who wouldn't talk to who in a few days. That's all.
Oh, dear Lord. You know, it's so interesting to be so highly emotional and just so wrong. But this is what happens when you only listen to Democratic propaganda, right? Let's actually go take a look and let's see what Ron DeSantis had to say about this. Well, let's see what Kamala Harris first said, which triggered this woman to say this. And then let's look at Ron DeSantis' response to what Kamala Harris said. All right, so here's Kamala Harris speaking on Ron DeSantis and this disaster. Check this out.
You know, moments of crisis, if nothing else, should really be the moment that anyone who calls themselves a leader says they're going to put politics aside and put the people first. People are in desperate need of support right now, and playing political games with this moment in these crisis situations, these are the height of emergency situations, is just utterly irresponsible, and it is selfish, and it is about political gamesmanship instead of doing the job that you took an oath to do, which is to put the people first.
You know what I find interesting about that is, wasn't this the same woman that was just on a podcast, something like called Call Me Daddy, while people have just gotten completely wiped out by Helene? Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe it's just me, but she was shooting podcast while people were completely and utterly wiped out by Hurricane Helene. And she's talking about putting the people first. She was quite literally, if you think about it, she was literally putting politics above people. Literally. So what she's doing right now is she's absolutely projecting onto Ron DeSantis what she's actually doing. And this will explain why. Watch Ron DeSantis' response to this.
And I've been in touch with both FEMA and the president, as well as marshaling all our state agencies and working to support our local communities. And so for Kamala Harris to try to say that my sole focus on the people of Florida is somehow selfish is delusional. She has no role in this. In fact, she's been vice president for 3.5 years. I've dealt with a number of storms under this administration. She has never contributed anything to any of these efforts. And so what I think is selfish is her trying to blunder into this. No. And here's the thing. She has no role. No, she has no role in this process. I'm in contact with the president of the United States. I'm in contact with FEMA director. I'm obviously managing all our state agencies. We're supporting all our local government. And I will say this. I've had storms under both President Trump and President Biden, and I've worked well with both of them. She's the first one who's trying to politicize the storm, and she's doing that just because of her campaign. She's trying to get some type of an edge. She knows she's doing poorly, and so she's playing these political games. I don't have time for political games. I've got people whose lives are on the line. I've got people whose homes and their possessions are on the line, and we are focused 100% on that mission. I'm not worried about playing her political games. And so she is being selfish by trying to blunder into this when we're working just fine.
Now, again, he's 100% right. Because think about it. If that was the case, why hasn't she done this before? Like, if she was so about people and taking care of them and making sure they have what they need during an emergency, why wasn't she doing this before it was an election year? Right? He just said there's been plenty of storms since she's been in office and she's never done anything. But now, all of a sudden, 30 days before the presidential election, when she wants to be president, Now she wants to do something. Now she wants to be involved, just like the border, right? Never really cared about the border, never really went to it. But about 40 days before the election, now it's time for her to go to the border and support those people at the border, because our men and women at the border need help. Where was that energy the whole time you were vice president? It wasn't there, right? So what she's doing is she's projecting. He said he talked to President Biden. He's talked to FEMA. He's been working day and night to get this situation to be as manageable as possible. And she's busy making it political because she wants to try to get some political points out of this. And that's the problem. When you don't do stuff consistently and you show us that's who you are, it's as clear as day that it's fake when you go do it, when there's a real good incentive for you to go act like you care. And we can see right through what she's doing, right? So it's super interesting to watch her project, and it's super disingenuous. But again, she's been disingenuous her whole campaign. Like, if you truly watch her and the stuff she says, she's absolutely manipulative and disingenuous. So there's one more thing I want to show you guys, and it kind of talks about, but I mean, if you look at this right here, if you look at the screen, look at that pressure, 897. Look right below it, category 5. This is no joke. Now, it's supposed to be a category 3 by the time it hits Florida, but that's still no joke, right? So I think I'm going to show you a clip of the mayor of Tampa talking about something to do with this storm. So watch this. Okay, so this is the mayor of Tampa talking about hurricane evacuation zones. Listen to this.
This is literally catastrophic. And I can say without any dramatization whatsoever, if you choose to stay in one of those evacuation areas, you're going to die.
Wow. I mean, that is an incredibly blunt message. And I know you have a lot of experience dealing with these storms. You don't say something like that lightly, Mayor.
I've never said that. And 10 to 12 foot surge. I mean, if this takes a jog to the south, that's going to save us from the storm surge. But it stays on the track that it's projected to be on right now. Or if it goes a bit north, would be even worse. Some of the predictions are saying that Pinellas County, to the south of us, the entire county is going to be underwater. So this is something that I have never seen in my life. And I can tell you that anyone who was born and raised in the Tampa Bay area has never seen anything like this before. People need to get out.
And your message is just, this isn't survivable.
This, if we have that predicted storm surge, it is not survivable.
Again, so hey, if you know people in the Florida area or that are in the path of this storm, or if you're in the path, make sure you listen to them. It's not worth taking the risk. Get out of there. Talk to your people about getting out of there. That's all I got for this video. Like, share, and subscribe. I will see y'all in the next one. Y'all have a wonderful day. Peace.